performances in the time of Corona and their response. So they created a Trickle Up NYC.org, Taylor's great idea, like a Netflix streaming to get theaters involved. And Kirsten talked about the activities of the Here Art Center that is closed. The space, like all the other ones, are dark, but all the works that the artists are still doing was followed by an update from the situation in Hong Kong and China from Mok Chiu Yu and Shuyu Liao and Han Chen Fen, who talked about what it means now, and artists who now think maybe it's time to observe the body and to observe our world. This is the only thing that's left. It's us. We are in a space. Han Chen Feng, who said cyberspace that used to be not the real space seems to be now the real space after all, where we do connect. And Mark from Hong Kong talked about the situation there, that some rehearsals with masks are still going on, that people are having online projects, but of course the situation, as we all remember in Hong Kong, it remains out there, that this is just a temporary pause for them in a much bigger engagement for live arts and the political. Yesterday we had a great talk, I thought, also with Thomas Ostermeier from the Schaubühne Berlin, who talked from his apartment to us, and he had good advice. He did say, please do stay sober. Don't think that this has any sense. There's no apocalyptic meaning of an Old Testament God who is revengeful, and we have to repent and for our sins, and then perhaps it will get better. It's just, he says, it's chaotic. It doesn't have any sense. And this is just a break in our lives. And he encouraged young artists to prepare, say, this will be over, but prepare to be better artists and better human beings. Read, look at things and study what people have done before you, and but not to become fatalistic. And today we have with us two great artists, a couple that works in Ravenna. They created the Teatro delle Albe. It is Marco and Ermanna, two great workers in the vineyard of global theater. They are like the living theater, like Judith Malina and Julian Bach. They have carried the torch and carried the Mother Courage's Volkswagen through many decades in Italy. And they are based in Ravenna, a great town, a significant one. We will come to that later. And they are leaders of a small independent theater company. They rehearse in a church from the 12th century. And so welcome, Marco and Ermanna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit, what's happening in Ravenna?
In Ravenna, like in all Italy, the people are closed at home. And there are these rules, we think right rules, to stop the coronavirus, because we have not other solutions for the moment. And only essential work are possible. Theater is considered not essential because all the theaters are closed. But we knew, lo sapevamo, no? We knew that our art is not essential for this society, but this is the demonstration, the scientific demonstration. At the same time, we think in this moment, this is the unique possible solution for this terrible question. The most terrible after the Second World War. And, we think that there was a great late in to find the right rules, the right possibility to stop the virus. There is a responsibility for the politics and for the community, scientific community. But now we are in this situation. So, Italian people is anarchist people. But in this situation, no, we are respectful for the law. And this is, I think, is a good thing.
We're also going to ask Ermanna, with us we have the great Valeria Orani, who created the Italian Playwright Project and runs Umanism, an organization dedicated to the dialogue between Italy and the U.S. and the world. Valeria will translate. But Ermanna, tell us a little bit, what's going on in Ravenna and in your mind?
Cosa faccio che succede in questi giorni, in these days?
Ma in questi giorni sogno moltissimo.
In this day I dream a lot.
E i sogni per me sono dei segni molto importanti.
For me, these dreams are very important signs.
Soprattutto per scrivere. Io sto scrivendo molto in questo periodo, scrivo dei racconti.
Almost because I write a lot in this period, and I write mostly novels.
Tales, yeah.
Tales, yeah. So.
Stories.
Storie. E io scrivo soprattutto riguardo alla vista e al tatto. Mi viene questo da scrivere.
And I write mostly about the senses of the view and the tactile.
Perché quello che più manca è essere completati dall'altro che ti guarda a teatro.
Because what I miss mostly is to be completed by the other who watch at you in theater, so the audience that watch the stage.
E quindi questo non può avvenire, questo completamento, nei corpi, nell'energia, e quindi a me viene nella scrittura.
And so because this couldn't be possible physically, I translated on my writings.
E abbiamo fatto della nostra casa un convento, io e Marco. Ci pensiamo come due monaci che scrivono, leggono e ragionano.
And we transformed our home in an abbey in this period, me and Marco. So we are like monks that write, read, and think about the things.
Tell us about... go on.
No, devo mostrarvi i libri che stiamo leggendo.
I want to show the books we are reading.
Yeah.
Non so se voi li vedete.
Sì, yes.
Questo è un soffio di vita della grandissima Clarice Lispector.
Is I don't know the translation in English of the title, but is
a novel by Clarice Lispector.
Si chiama Pulsazione, no,
soffio di vita, perché in inglese lei.
Ma lo stavo cercando in inglese, ma non c'è.
Breath of Life. Yeah, the translation from the Italian title is Breath of Life.
Sì, è questo, è questo.
Sì.
And Dante, we have Dante Alighieri in English translation by Allen Mandelbaum. And this is an important book for us because we used this in U.S.A, in Kenya, in Romanian. Is a book in our bag.
Vi facciamo vedere un libro bellissimo che conoscerete.
And we show you a beautiful book that maybe you know. That is The Art of Color.
Good Bauhaus book, yes.
Yes.
È un libro sui colori, su come psichicamente la nostra psiche e i colori che noi portiamo, se abbiamo i capelli neri, gli occhi neri, i capelli biondi come Frank, usiamo certi colori invece di altri.
So it is a philosophical connection between colors and our lives. So if we prefer a color for our dresses or our hair, we can make the connection and the meaning in life about this color.
Insomma, molti libri sulla luce, sul paradiso.
So how does
about the light and the heaven?
Grazie.
So how does your day look like? Tell us a little bit. What time do you get up? What do you do hour by hour? What do you do? Like yesterday, how is your day organized?
Allora, dormiamo molto. We sleep a lot. So we quando ci alziamo, we leave at 12.
When you get up,
Ci alziamo a mezzogiorno.
At 12 o'clock, at noon, you get up.
12 o'clock, and we eat. And then after, until 8 o'clock, to read, to write, to work. At 8 o'clock, a little supper, la cena. And then we see video just until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the night. So only one time every 2-3 days we go to do shopping, to grocery shopping, to do shopping for food. Is the only possibility to go out.
Puoi dire del film e delle così, questo?
Yes, and we are working about a new film, a new movie. I have in my mind the idea of a film about Ermanna. 30 years of work on the stage, and I use different material of repertory. I can say repertory.
Repertoire.
Repertoire, and to create a new movie about this career, this life on the stage. And Ermanna is working about a CD, about love, faithful love, fedeli d'amore, a performance. And we are working about the CD, only audio, only music and voice by Ermanna. So the day is full. The day is full of thinking, working, and praying in the same time. Our prayer.
When you go out to the streets of Ravenna, how is the mood? How do you see your city at the moment?
The only possibility to go out is to go in the market.
The grocery.
Yes, near to our house. It's not possible to go and to see the town, because the police is in all the town, and if you go without a necessity, a real necessity, is not possible. This.
What would happen? You go out, you go farther away from the market, you would get a fine, you would have to pay something, or what would happen if you?
When we go to market,
too far. Yeah, if you go too far, you go somewhere you're not supposed to go.
It's not possible. Is better if we stay in the house and near, or maybe yes.
For how long have you been in the house?
Sono 200 metri.
No, dice quanto tempo siamo stati in casa? 1 month. 9 of March, today 2 of April, maybe 1 month. Yes.
So tell us a bit, is this time changing you a bit? Or is it just another way of living as an artist? Or do you feel something is changing?
Us or
you?
In general?
You as artist.
Se ci cambia questo, vuoi dire tu?
A me ora non dispiace, mi piace adesso. nonostante la situazione. C'è ci mette in relazione a qualcosa di molto profondo, di molto importante.
Let's wait to translate.
Valeria?
Excuse me, no, my audio was gone a little bit.
Ripeto?
Sì, grazie.
Sì, ho detto che a me non dispiace questo stare in casa.
I am not upset to stay at home. It's a good moment for now.
Mi concentra moltissimo e c'è bisogno di molta concentrazione in questo periodo.
And I feel myself very concentrated, and I need, I think we need to be concentrated now.
Perché in un qualche modo si sente che il momento è tragico per tutto il mondo e ci permette di emanare non so, sguardi migliori.
And because everybody, we feel that moment is so strong, and this concentration make it possible that we look with a different vision.
Forse mi manca sì il tatto delle persone, è la cosa più mancante, ma per il momento un mese non è così tanto stare isolati.
What I miss more is to touch the other people, but at the moment 1 month is not too hard as tough we can think.
And the city of Ravenna, are there memories of going through the influenza, the pest, the cholera? Is there something that's still alive in the memory of the people from Ravenna from earlier times?
In the history of Ravenna, yeah. No, mm-hmm. No, it's not a question. In our literature, Italian literature, we have great writers like Boccaccio, or mm-hmm. Boccaccio a few years after Dante in the Middle Age, and Alessandro Manzoni with I Promessi Sposi, two great writers who tell in their novel the plague, no? The great pestilence. We have this memory, but not another kind. This is really a news for, I think, for all Italy. But I think for all Western world, this is the problem. This news is not a news for the world, because in other parties of the world, the plague, the pestilence, the terrible situations of life. For us, we have a home, we have salaries, we have a comfortable situation. Yes, this is a tragedy, but attention, is not a news in an absolute sense of the word.
Mm-hmm. I know you also did work in Africa with your Dante project, and tell us a little bit about that. What?
Yes, I have worked in Nairobi, in the greatest slum of Nairobi, named Kibera. And it's strange because Kibera in Swahili, the language, the African language, it means forest. So when I went there and I began to work with 100 people and young people, children and adolescents, about the Divine Comedy. And I began saying, okay, we are in a dark forest, a forest like Kibera, the same name. And you know, Kibera, like all the slums in the world, is a terrible condition, because in Kibera there is no water, acqua potabile, Valeria, come si dice?
Drinkable water.
Yes. You have not electricity, no, the light, and terrible illness like AIDS. I don't know in English.
HIV.
Okay. So is the situation of hell.
Mm-hmm. Almost like we have now, but just much more even. You know?
Absolutely. For these wonderful children, I worked with wonderful children, is the normality, the plague. Their condition of life is a plague. For me, it's strange now to live here in Italy in this situation, but it's not a news for me, because in Kenya and some years ago in Senegal, we have seen terrible situation of life, and humanity is not only in Ravenna or in New York. Humanity is all over the world, and I hope that this disaster of Corona may be a lesson for us to understand better what is our life, what is our la nostra tavola dei valori, come si dice?
Our table of values.
Set of values, yeah.
Yes.
So, so why is theater really necessary then? Do you feel? You said in the beginning it's not necessary. We know that now. We are not healthcare workers. We are not doctors, firemen.
Sure.
We already are on the margins of society. I think no longer perhaps theater is as strong as an influence. But do we need theater? Do you feel? What can theater do, or what do you try to do with your theater?
Cioè, che cosa...
il teatro non è essenziale, abbiamo detto prima, però
per noi lo è. For us is essential.
Yeah, tell us. What do you think theater should be doing? What should theater artists do right now in the time of Corona?
Cosa succederà al teatro?
Cosa dovrebbe succedere secondo voi?
Non sappiamo cosa dovrebbe succedere. Sappiamo che il teatro ha una radice così importante socialmente.
We don't know what will be, but we know how important is the root of theater in a society.
Proprio perché ne è la crepa.
Just because is the gap.
E allora dovrebbe riprendere, risorgere in quanto teatro. Il teatro è teatro. Non...
And so what I expect is the theater would alive again because it's just theater.
A few days ago, a journalist, Italian journalist, asked to me, Marco, how can change the theater if this plague continue in the future? I've no answer, because it's not possible theater without the link between the bodies. It's not possible. The roots of theater are there. We are making now a very interesting dialogue, no, between Italy and USA, between us and Frank and Valeria. But this is not theater. It's an important thing. All we can make with video and technological media is important, but at the same time, there is no solution. In Shakespeare times, there was a great plague and theaters were closed. The same thing today. this is a point of fragility, I can say, for our art. At the same time is the point of energy, of strength. We are a living body in relation in theater.
I know with your work, also with the Dante project in Ravenna, where Dante actually finished his Divina Commedia in Ravenna. He's buried in Ravenna, his grave is there. You involved the population. Over 200 people joined every evening, and actors or participants were like maybe 20 or 30, which is a new form, a new exploration, participatory, socially engaged art, which is a new form. This time now of Corona being so alone, I said, does it make you think of new ways or new forms, or do you think we will continue what we did, but in a better way? What is going through your mind about future productions?
Ma penso che allontanarsi dal teatro per mesi.
I think take a distance by the theater for months.
E quindi questa mancanza,
so this empty,
sì, ci rivelerà una forma possibile,
will suggest us a possible new form.
Non ho detto new, una forma possibile, non sappiamo se sarà nuova, una forma possibile.
A possible form, not new.
Sì. Non sappiamo come sarà. E noi siamo gente di teatro e faremo teatro se sarà possibile.
We don't know which kind of form will be. We are theater people, so we will do what we can do in theater.
In our mind, next year, 2021, is a year very important, because is 7 centuries from the death of Dante Alighieri. And in this year, not only in Italy, but all over the world, there will be, maybe, coronavirus, maybe, a lot of project about Divine Comedy. We have the project to finish our trilogy, because I have to say, Frank was with us on stage in Ravenna, and he was a wonderful Joseph Beuys in Purgatory. But next year we have the idea, the project, to link the hell, the purgatory, and the new creation, paradise, and to have an experience, not only a show, but as you have seen in Ravenna, no, it was a kind of experience, of living experience of beauty. 8-9 hours of work, because linking hell, purgatory, and paradise, we will have a great time together with citizens of Ravenna and with the spectators. At the same time, foreign ministry in Italy has seen the Purgatory last summer. They were enthusiastic, and they proposed to us to bring this form of relation with citizens, and to go in different countries in the world next year. Buenos Aires in Argentina, New York, you know, India, New Delhi, Nairobi too, Kenya, Romanian and Serbian. So if we will be living in 2021, we will have a great year, all dedicated to Divine Comedy. Mm-hmm. This is the most great project for the future.
Io posso dire una cosa solo. Valeria, mi senti?
Sì, sì.
Secondo me bisognerebbe prendere questo periodo e ascoltare l'oracolo che ci pone.
I think we will take this period to listen what is arrived from the oracle.
Così che ogni artista potrà poi portare i propri geroglifici, che non sono mai risposte, ma geroglifici.
So every artist can bring his own hieroglyphic sign that are not answers, but are just hieroglyphic signs.
Grazie, Valeria.
Grazie a te.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it will be interesting because also in that place, people walk through the streets of the towns. It was truly a participatory communal event, which is actually not possible at the moment. It could never be replaced, I think, also online or with a digital presence. I know your work is inspired by the work of Jarry and Artaud and Brecht and all of it. Do you rethink at the moment? Do you reread their work, or tell us a little bit? What are the signs in the big landscape of theater you follow to get where you want? And is that landscape shifting? Are you going back to what inspired you? Are you in those 4 weeks you work 8 hours every day? Did you find something new?
These authors, you said, you told, yes, are the most important authors for us. They are food every day for us. At the same time, I don't believe that this time changes our feeling, because yes, is a question of suffering, no, of pain for all of us. At the same time, our life is always full of this experience. The death of a person 3 months ago is on the same level of the death today. I think that, yes, is a new experience, because in this form is new, the experience. But the substance, no, the roots of this experience are the experience of all our life, I think. Is for this reason that this book that Frank gave us is a gift by Frank, with this good title, All Things Shining, is right today, again, ancora, no? Mm-hmm. Life is shining even in this situation, because is light and shadow, ombra e luce are mixed in an incredible way in our life.
Hmm. So how is it in Ravenna? Do you hear the ambulances going by? Do you have loved ones or family or friends who are sick, people who died? How is that personally for you and your families?
I nostri
familiari. Io ho 2 genitori novantenni.
I have 2 parents elderly in 90s.
Che ora sono con mio fratello.
They are with my brother.
E mio padre, che è sordo, non sente più da molti anni, è proprio sordo completamente.
And my father, who doesn't hear anymore because it doesn't has the hearing from many years completely.
Pensa di essere lui portatore del virus per noi figli.
He thinks to be a dealer of the virus for us sons.
E se ne sta sempre lontano, comunque loro non li vedo in mezzo al campo.
And he stay so far away from the others in the middle of the field. So, and I don't see them.
posso dire una cosa? Lo stavi dicendo?
No, vai.
No, we have some friends in Lombardia. And you know, Lombardia is the terrible situation.
Tell us a bit.
Yes, it's the red zone, we say in Italy. We have some friends, they were sick, and the mother of one of these died a few days ago. In Ravenna, for the moment, Ravenna is a good situation. Few deaths and few positivi al contagio.
Mm-hmm.
Non so come si dice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Positive
and,
tested, yeah. Mm-hmm. Very few. Mm-hmm.
One thing important to say, the consequence about the economy in the society, because if people doesn't work, people doesn't get money. So the problem is very great. In our company, Teatro delle Albe, we are 40 people, and we decided to stay linked, di non, come si dice Valeria, di non licenziare.
Don't fire anymore.
Okay.
Sorry, anybody. Sorry, not
Keep
anybody.
everybody employed.
Absolutely. Is tirare tutti la cinghia, come si dice Valeria?
To make everybody sacrifices.
Okay, but to stay together. Because this is a great risk, a possible risk in a situation in which the economy become poor, no? Yes, to have a mentality, egoistic mentality.
Mm-hmm. And what is the situation politically? How do you feel about the government or the support for that situation for the arts, but also in the moment now? Do you feel things are moving fine? They reacted rightly. There was so much confusion and complicated situation in Italy before the corona. How do you feel now about the situation in Italy?
Allora, it's strange. It's very strange because before the epidemic, in the talk show, in television, people speak only about the migrants, the immigration from the south, with the ships, with, no? The great problem is there. Now, nobody speaks about this problem. Cioè, the situation is totally rovesciata, changed, no? Ma proprio
upside down.
Yes. And the politics, like Salvini is like a little Trump, I can say.
The president of Italy, yeah.
Okay, our Salvini, in the days before Corona, every day the apocalypse of migrants. Now the problem is another. So it's strange for us because in Italy there was only a great struggle between the politics. In this moment, there is like a no, una tregua, come dire, Valeria?
The people trust more to government now that in the early past where there was just a lot of problems, different, no, like migrants, only migrants.
Yes, and not only struggle, but sometimes a real hate. Cioè people before Corona in the social, in Facebook and so on, you
put it out all the hate, like haters.
Great hate, yes. Now we speak about the narcissists, they are heroes for us. Cioè, sometimes something is changed in the mentality. I don't know if we can go again with this mentality, but for the moment, si respira un po' di più.
It's like a breath, a fresh breath now at the moment.
The great problem, I think, now is Europe. Because in this moment, l'Europa, have to understand that the question is not economy, is not money, is another question. Is if Europe wants really to become a great nation, and not only an economical question. In this moment, the nations are discussing between them about this great disaster. Is a question of humanity, not money. And I think this will be in the next days and months the great question for all of us.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel that that system, the state or government, this kind of capitalist system we live in, hyper-capitalism, the neoliberalism, do you think something will change? Will it have a lasting effect on society, or will it just be, Ostermeyer was concerned, he said, will it be good news for the right, for the radical right who will take over, like in Poland, in Hungary, in other places? How do you see it in Italy?
Ma io posso dire una cosa, intanto che si continua a usare la parola guerra per contrastare il corona, pochissime cose.
I want to tell something. In the meanwhile, the people use the word war to fight the coronavirus.
E invece delle parole come cura, attenzione, affetto,
instead of the words as a cure or attention or
affection.
Affection, yeah.
Quindi un linguaggio, intanto che questo linguaggio non cambia, cambierà molto poco la mentalità e quindi anche l'economia, credo.
In the meanwhile, that this language doesn't change, nothing will change really, and so the economy, I guess.
It's right what Ermanna said, and I can say the problem are not the animals. No, the problem is not in the nature. The problem is in our economy. I think that is a great problem, is a world problem. It's not only a question of Italy or England or Germany or U.S.A. Because this crisis is a crisis of our mechanism, crazy economy. I think that ecology is not a question of the good souls, is the central question, political central question of our times. And I don't know. I think that our politics are not prepared for this great changement. You know, Greta Thunberg and the movements, I think that our humanity is prepared to a real change, not only details, but a real change of the mechanism. I suppose, and I would like to be wrong, that the politics is a step before. You know, in this situation, your Trump, your president, I remember that in the beginning, tell me if I'm wrong, he said, but it's a normal, a simple influence. And
influenza,
no,
like viral, yeah.
Influenzale, no? And this is, our politics are often I hope not always, but often are so, a step before the situation, the things. So I have hope in the young people. Greta Thunberg, but Greta only like a symbol of all the young people of the world, because this disaster is so evident. No, it's not a speech of Greta. It's an evident disaster in the world. It's a pity, but humanity understands if the disasters arrives. After we begin to understand, to think the solution.
I have a question from one of our listeners. As you know, you can send a question to Segal Talks with s@gmail.com. It's from Bonnie Maranka, who said, "Dear friends, thank you for your wise words. Italian books and films are part of my encounters at home here in New York City. Do you have the feeling, as I do, that the medical personnel and the first responders are our angels?"
Non ho capito.
Non ho capito neanche io bene. I don't understand really the question.
She says, first of all, thank you. Le ringrazia lei
the last part.
dei paroli. I see this, our medical workers now, and the people, the first responders, the nurses, the firemen,
Yes,
the policemen,
yes.
are they these angelic form now? Like you speak of Dante and this. Do you feel something is changing what we look to?
It's so. Now, in this moment, the heroes in our Italy are medical and nurses. And they are making an incredible life because they are near the illness every day, every moment. So they are sono i più esposti, come si dice?
Most exposed. The most exposed.
Most exposed, yeah.
Absolutely. They are near the terrible illness. And at the same time, another responsibility of politics, because in the last 20 years in Italy, the government cuts the financement to the hospitals. In this situation, we are not ready for this situation of emergency. The responsibility is the politics, and now these people, medical people and nurses, cosa stanno facendo? Stanno rimediando agli errori della politica.
They are working to remedy the problem created by the rules or the politicians.
Yes, with their life, with their death, because every day one medical or one nurse is dead.
In Italy.
In Italy, yes.
Yeah, I think this is why I also admire your theater. You involved, thousands of people for your show of a 2-week run. Maybe you had, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 people of the city Ravenna participating in the walk around. So most probably nurses, doctors were part of the audience, an audience that normally we don't reach. Do you feel we have to rethink even more? What can we do for a doctor or nurse? Would they even be interested in it, or will that come later? Will theater rethink also the basic engagement, like the Brechtian idea that theater is actually for the workers and it's for the people who, not for the bourgeoisie in that sense, as Thomas Ostermeyer talked about yesterday, as Peter Stein from the Schaubühne also before said, I know our theater is for the people who eat snails and oysters, but I don't like it, but it's a fact. But maybe this is a wake-up call. Do you feel that you think now even more how to reach these audiences, or do you feel it will stay how it is?
Se ci sarà più pubblico.
Sì, se questa cosa richiamerà più persone.
We hope. We hope, Frank. You know that in Ravenna, people gave a wonderful answer to our public call. And at the same time, in last month, before all this story of Corona, we received a lot of telefonate, mail from citizens of Ravenna that say, how, Ermanna, Marco, when we can ricominciare, no? Restart. I think they are there with this desire, like us. We hope only to open the door of our house and remit all the citizens, and not only the citizens you have seen in Purgatory, but new citizens again.
Hmm. For your work as theater makers and as directors and artists, you know, what would you say, you know, to theater artists around the world now? What is your advice, whether they are young or in the mid-career? What do you feel? What did you learn in your 4 weeks of 8-hour engagement every day? What do you think it might be important to focus on?
Avete qualcosa da condividere con i giovani artisti del mondo, della vostra esperienza di queste settimane? Se avete qualche consiglio, qualche pensiero da condividere con loro.
Since you are 2 monks in the cloisters, so at the moment, what would you write? What would you say?
Io sono in contatto con molte artiste donne, alcune di queste molto giovani.
I am in connection with many female artists, and more of them are very young.
E una di queste che amo molto si chiama Licia la Nera.
And one of them that I love very much, her name is Licia la Nera.
Ha mandato una email qualche giorno fa dicendo che per lei questo momento è confuso e toglie le sue parole.
She wrote an email a couple of days ago telling that this moment for her is a confusional moment and cut the words from them.
Io non so se ha ragione o meno, la cosa mi ha molto turbata.
I don't know if she is right or not, but I was very moved by these words.
E quello che posso dire è cercare di avere attenzione e non usare parole infette.
And what can I do is try to be careful and don't use infected words.
Oltre a questo, this is absolutely right. At the same time, la terra ha bisogno di riposo.
Sì, at the same time, the heart need to rest.
The earth, the land, in agriculture.
Yeah. No?
La terra nel senso di mondo o di
la terra nel senso di land, proprio di field, di campo.
Ok,
the
land.
Terra
Yeah.
che deve lavorare, cioè che deve fruttare, no?
The soil need rest.
Mm-hmm. Needs to breathe, needs to rest.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can work the land with fruit and so on, but there is a time in which stay, riposo. But at the same time with our mind, with our activity, to be quiet in this moment, in a terrible moment like this, for artists, I say, no? Not for medical and nurses, the contrary of them. But for us, it may be a great situation in which to go deeper in our mind, in our poetry, in our desire. So when the door will be open, to have more strength, to have more intelligence about the people, and about the world, about our art, our theater, because you know, the danger of too much words, too much social relation.
Overwhelming.
No, you know, a great risk, a great danger.
Mm-hmm.
This situation is a strange possibility for us like artists, to make silence and to make after a new music, silence and music.
Yeah, Ermanna, I know you wrote a text. You also would like to share some kind of the new music that perhaps came out of your work there. Is that a good moment to read to us?
Yes.
I know you both are so highly decorated. You have been awarded every prize in Italy that you can get. You have been, you know, the most significant actors also in Italy, Ubu Prizes and others. So it's a big honor to have you with us. So maybe share a bit and maybe say a few words about the text.
Se senti che questo è il momento giusto per leggere quello che hai preparato e se ci vuoi dire qualche cosa prima di leggerlo.
Sì, stavo pensando perché in questo mese sono arrivate molte richieste.
Because in this month there arrived a lot of requests.
Per dare risposte a questi giorni, a questi momenti.
To answer these moments and these days.
Io non so fare altro che non mettere in forma delle piccole cose.
I don't know how to do differently that put together little things.
Perché non ho risposte.
And this is why I don't. This is because I don't have answers.
Allora, per una rivista che mi aveva chiesto un pensiero su questi giorni, ho scritto 2 racconti.
And this is why I wrote two stories for a magazine, for a rivista, a magazine, I guess. That asked me something.
Che si intitolano L'abbraccio e il bacio.
And the titles are The Embrace and the Kiss.
Che sono che è qualche cosa che in questi giorni non possiamo donare né ricevere.
There is something that we can't share, giving or receiving in these days.
E quindi vi leggerò in inglese.
And so I will read in English.
L'abbraccio.
The Embrace.
Che è un piccolissimo racconto e questi racconti si riferiscono alla mia infanzia.
And the Embrace, there is a very short story. There is a story that is referred to my elderly years. Sorry.
To her childhood.
Sì. E lo leggo tradotto da Tom Simpson, che ha voluto, che quando ha letto questi racconti, per farmi un regalo, li ha tradotti in inglese.
And I read by the translation of Thomas Simpson, that when read these stories, gave me a gift translating into English.
Spero di leggerlo come si deve.
Okay.
I hope to read well.
The embrace. I always liked outside more than inside. In summertime, after dinner, my mother and grandmother would stay at the table and sit to talk. But my grandfather would stand up and go outside to smoke a cigarette. Eyes half closed, he'd look out over the countryside in front of my house, a flat horizon that went up into the sky. I would follow him out and squatted down next to him on the front step. He would put his arm around me, and I would try to squint my eyes like him. I liked the smell of the cigarette, the warmth of the cement step burnt by the sun all day long. We'd sit there close, roped together, and became smaller and smaller. The outside came to life completely in all its loveliness, cancelling out the moment when the inside, with its aggressive, unpredictable fury, flowered out of the dark.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much, Ermanna and Marco. Again, this is Marco Martinelli and Ermanna Montanari from the great Teatro delle Albe in Ravenna. Thank you for sharing a bit of your daily lives and your thoughts. And we hope to see you in New York and that you will do your tour about Dante, and who thought a lot about life and death and misery and paradise and hell and something to rediscover. So like prophets, maybe you foresaw something there. Join us tomorrow. We have the great Toshiki Okada from Japan, one of the stars of the world theater in the world we move in, who actually moved his family away from Tokyo after the Fukushima disaster. His Münchner Kammerspiele play is just selected by the Berlin Theater Meeting as one of the best in the German-speaking world, but of course it has been canceled. So he will share with us what is on his mind. Again, Marco Ermanna, thank you so very, very much. It's meaningful for us to hear from you. And in these days where we only hear from politicians, from economists, and from virologists, I think voices of artists are as important and perhaps even a bit more than normally. So thank you.
We hope, Frank, to see you and Valeria and all in New York to make Dante together.
That's great. We will do our best.
We hope.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. And thanks to Valeria from the Italian Playwrights Project and the Umanism for translating. Okay, goodbye.